Hi, my name is Jenna Bakandi, and today I'll be doing a review on section 10.4 and 10.5. First, we will be reviewing section 10.4, volume. What is volume? Volume can be defined as the three-dimensional space enclosed by a boundary or occupied by an object. General prisms and cylinders. The formula for the volume of a prism or cylinder is the volume equals base times height. And remember, base is going to equal length times width. So the volume would equal the base times height, which would be the length times the width times the height. Let's do an example together. For this first example, I have a prism. And as you can see, that one side is the length, which is 5 centimeters. One side has the width, which is 4 centimeters. And then we have our height, which is 3 centimeters. And if we remember our formula, it's volume equals the base times height. Now remember, I just reminded you that our base equals a length times width. So in this case, our volume would equal the base, which would be length times width, 5 centimeters times 4 centimeters. That's our base times height, which would be 3 centimeters. So 5 times 4 would be 20. 20 times 3 would be 60. So our volume would be 60 centimeters squared. And that would be the volume of this prism. Pyramids and cones. To find the volume of a pyramid or a cone, you can use this formula, volume equals 1/3 times the base times height. And you can see here that I have an example where we have a cone, and this is the height and the base. Remember, the base is equal to length times width. So the volume of any pyramid or cone can be found by using the formula, volume equals 1/3 times base times height, since pyramid and cone have similar properties. Here we have our first example. I have a pyramid example with 2 sides. All 4 sides are equal of a pyramid. And as you can see, both sides are 4 centimeters, which would be our length and our width. So to find this volume, we would go V is equal to 1/3 times 4 squared, because we know both sides are the same, so 4 times 4, so 4 squared, times our height. And now we have to find our height. Now remember, our height is 6 centimeters right here. So V would be equal to 1/3 times 4 is 16, times our height, which is 6. And if we do our math, that would equal 32 centimeters squared. So our volume for this equation would be 32 centimeters squared. Spheres. A sphere fills 2/3 of a circular cylinder. And to find the volume, use the formula, volume equals 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed, or to the 3rd power. Now let's try an example. For this example, I have a sphere with a radius of 3 centimeters. Now, to correctly do this formula, remember, volume equals the 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. Now we already have our radius, which is 3. So we can go ahead and say that volume equals 4/3 times pi times 3 centimeters to the 3rd power. Now, we can go ahead and do the math, or we could go ahead and break this down, because we can say that 3 to the 3rd power is going to be 4/3 times pi to 27 centimeters. And we can say that 3 will go into 27 9 times. So we can get rid of our 3, which would be volume equals 4 times pi times 9 centimeters. And again, we can go ahead and do more math and say that 4 times 9 is going to be 36 pi centimeters cubed. Now that we've broken it down, we can say 36 times pi would be 36 times pi, or 33.14 centimeters times 36 would be 113.04 centimeters cubed. And that would be our volume for the sphere. Now let's do a few workups. Let's review another prism. For this example, our base, again, is going to be our length times width. Our length is 6 centimeters, so our volume would equal 6 centimeters. Our length times our width, which would be 3 centimeters, which would be our base, times our height, which would be 2 centimeters. And if we do that math, 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 2 is 30. Next time we do the math. The answer would be 36 centimeters cubed. Great job. Let's do another pyramid. For this equation, we have 2 times 2 centimeters for our base, which would be length times width. And we can go ahead and say that's just 2 squared because it's 2 of the same thing. So V equals 1/3 times 2 squared would be our base times height. And for this equation, our height would be 4. 2 squared is going to be 4, so V would equal 1/3 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 would be 8, and 1/3 of 8 would be 2. So our volume is 2 centimeters cubed. Last one. Let's do another sphere. For this equation, I actually have a sphere with a diameter of 13 centimeters. Now you have to remember that diameter is actually half, or the radius is actually half of the diameter. So for this equation, our diameter would actually be 6.5. So if you do the math for this, it would turn out that our volume would be equal to 1,150.35, if you go ahead and estimate it, centimeters cubed. And that's the end of our short review of section 10.4. Let's go on to 10.5. Section 10.5, surface area. What is surface area? The surface area of any given object is the area or region occupied by the surface of the object. Now let's review a couple formulas for different objects. Right prisms. First, we'll review the general formula for the total surface area of a right prism. It would be the surface area would be equal to 2 times the base plus P times H would be the perimeter times the height. This is the formula you would use to find the area or the total surface area of a right triangular prism. Right triangular pyramids. For the surface area of a right triangular pyramid, let a right triangular period have a slant height and a base area and perimeter. Then the surface area of the pyramid is given by such formula. This is how you find the surface area of a right triangular pyramid. Right circular cones. For the surface area, let a right circular cone have a slant height and a base of radius. Then the surface area of the cone is given by formula surface area equals pi times the radius squared plus pi times the radius times the slant height of the right circular cone. This is how you find the surface area. Now, in such the case, you are given a semicircular right cone, which would be in this kind of shape. You would always put a half in front of your formula just because you're accounting for only having half of a circular right cone, hence a semicircular right cone. Thank you so much. That is the end of my review for 10.4 and 10.5. I enjoyed this semester and I hope you enjoyed my short reviews. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.